Hey guys, how's it going? With my overtime schedule, I don't get the chance to sleep a whole lot. Maybe 5 or 6 hours, which might seem like a blessing to some people. I don't, whatever. I'm thankful for the sleep that I do get, but it's very scattered. So I come home and I might get, well, actually, usually I don't get time when I come home right away. I have to wait about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours to drop Philip off at school, make sure Michael's at school, and put Mila down for a nap. And then I'll usually take about an hour nap before I have to pick Philip up again. And it's just because I have to get Mila up. I have to get Philip. I have to go get Philip and, get dressed and go and whatever. And then they get lunch, they get a little bit of playtime and stuff like that. They hang out. And then after that is their second nap, which is where I get the most sleep out of my day. Sometimes that's 2-3 hours. Sometimes it's longer. And if my wife gets home before Michael has to get off the bus, if she doesn't, then I have to go get him. And then I try to take a nap later in the night, which usually doesn't happen because by that time I'm just too awake. But yeah, so this is all being recorded in the same day. And one of my plans is going to be to kind of release these slowly throughout the week so that I can, still be present with you guys and still be giving you guys information and not get backed up and just all my channels are quiet for a while like they have been. I want to be with you guys. I want to be present and I want to be active. So this is my way of doing that and kind of putting out better stuff and, trying to get things together. It's just, unfortunately, we have a lot of construction going on in the background. I have not been able to fully wake up and groom yet. So apologies for that, but this is real life. This is what building a business as a parent of 3 working overnights and alternating schedules and blah, blah, blah looks like. So this is my reaching out and saying, hey, I'm there with you. And for this episode in particular, I'm talking about a little bit about what I just discussed. Anytime I've worked overnights before, I've always felt like, there was a time before this that I worked overnights that I felt well rested because I didn't have any kids. It was in a previous marriage long time ago. And, I was able to get a good 8 hours of sleep every single day and then work overnights and at a pretty easy job. I cleaned the whole house that I worked in for 2 hours. It was a disabled home. And then I was able to pretty much do whatever I wanted, watch TV or, play games or whatever. I'd bring my laptop so I can do stuff and whatever. Anyway, fast forward to today, working in an ER for 10 hours straight, there is no downtime. Even if it's just a light day, it's still pretty active. Every hour we have vital checks. Every half hour we have medications that we have to give in specific orders, and some have to be 5 minutes apart, and all kinds of good stuff. So I don't often get a lot of chance for sleep, but what I do make sure that I get is quality sleep when I can, and that's to avoid what I like to call sleep debt. I think it's something that a lot of people fall into, whether you're a new parent, whether you have something stressful going on, whether you have things in your life happening that are keeping you up at night, whether you took coffee or vitamins at the wrong time or whatever. For some reason, you can't sleep well, and now you're feeling it a couple of days later, a couple of days in a row. And that's what I call sleep debt, where you feel like, oh my God, if I could just get 12 hours of sleep today, I'd feel worlds better. And sometimes it's true, but most of the time that doesn't solve the problem. Makes you feel better in the day that you get that sleep, but it doesn't continue. The key way to solve sleep debt is to establish a routine where you can get quality rest, not just sleep, but rest at the same time. You have to accommodate for things like REM sleep. You have to give your brain enough time to have downtime and dream and recycle and do what it's supposed to do. And, if you don't give yourself enough time, it's just not going to work out. If you do it once every week, I used to go and work 3 separate jobs at one point. And I'd leave at, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I wouldn't get back until 10, 11, almost midnight sometimes. And my schedule would rotate. So I always just squeezed in like a couple of hours. But on the days where I could sleep in, what I usually would do is I'd stay up late playing video games or doing whatever I wanted to do because it was like my release time, It was my time to do whatever I wanted to do because I didn't have to work one day or whatever. So, and then, I'm staying up until the crack of dawn the next day, and then I'm sleeping a couple hours, and I'm establishing that as my now horrible sleep routine. And I think it's something that a lot of us fall into. A lot of us fall into a mentality where like, no, I haven't had a day to just hang out and do what I want to do in almost a month. And I understand that. Trust me, I understand that. But I promise you, if you start taking care of your sleep schedule and your routines in the proper way, you will get that time. You will get that time. I do it now. And I'm working overnight. I'm sleeping here and there and whenever. And I feel well rested and I feel in tune and I feel, calibrated, I want to say. And I'm still having the time. I had the opportunity this afternoon to play a game for, however long I wanted to, a half hour or so. And then I got up and did whatever else I needed to do. And I made it a super productive day besides that. But your routine works in a very specific way for you. And if you don't honor what that routine is, or you don't know what that routine is, it can become extremely challenging to follow through with it and eventually feel well rested. And what's going to eventually happen is your health is going to fall to the wayside. Your mindset is going to fall to the wayside because going along with sleep debt is also depression, anxiety. A certain mental conditions, can cause insomnia and things like that, or can cause irregular sleep schedules. And it usually makes those individual situations worse. As if, as worse than if you were not getting the proper amount of sleep while still having them. And the thing is, sleep is such an important foundational function of your body. Your body needs sleep. And there's some people who have teach themselves to sleep off of 5 hours, 4 hours, whatever. And, it takes a long time to get used to that. It takes a long time, and you have to be the type who can do it. I know I'm not The Rock. The Rock can sleep for 4 or 5 hours and get up and hit the gym 3 or 4 times a day and, eat and do all the stuff that he does. I cannot, and I know I can't. I need at least 6 hours of sleep every day. Ideally, 8 hours of sleep every day. That's what I need. I need it for my mental. I need it for my physical. I need it for just my well-being overall. And there's a couple of things that you can do to help yourself get back on track. One of the first and foremost things that I would recommend is, unless you absolutely need it, do not take a nap. And I say that with saying what my routine is before. Now, my sleep is naps during my work days. So my work days, when I come home, the naps that I get are my sleep. So that's a kind of different story. I mean, if you're feeling so exhausted and so tired because you've had a crummy couple of nights sleep, do not take a nap unless you absolutely need it. The caveat to that is, if you do absolutely need a nap, what you can do is take like a 15 to 30 minute power nap. And it's very specific. It's very, very specific. If you take over that 30-minute mark, chances are you're going to wake up and feel more exhausted than when you fell asleep. It happens almost every single time. The 15 to 30 mark seems to be that magical number where, you feel refreshed enough to go on for a couple more hours. And then towards the time you're supposed to be falling asleep, you start getting tired again. And then besides that, the other thing that I can recommend is, now listen close, because this is a hard one. Stop hitting snooze. Don't go for the 5 more minutes. I do this sometimes and it kills me. And even saying it to you now, I'm being 100% transparent. I still have a problem with doing it. My method through getting over it is to just establish in my mind that the second I wake up or the second my alarm goes off, get up, stand up. Because now, if you can get that process in before your brain starts thinking, oh my God, I'm tired, get yourself in the program of when you hit that alarm button, you get up and you're up. You're already there. Before you can start thinking about how tired you are and how much you just want 5 more minutes of sleep. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you don't like doing something, why are you going to make yourself do it more than once? Right? If you don't like waking up, if you're not a morning person, or if you feel like, you're just exhausted and, oh my God, 5 more minutes will change the world. No, it won't. It won't. You will wake up feeling more exhausted. And so get yourself into this mode where you put your alarm clock across the room or, away from you, out of arm's reach, so that you have to get up to turn it off. By that point, you're already up. What's the point in going back to sleep? What's the point in laying down and going back to sleep at that point? It seems so easy. It's not. It's one of the hardest things I can still ever do, but I do it. And I make sure that I do it, especially when I started my new routine, because every bit of energy that I have to give to every day is valuable time. It's valuable time with my kids. It's valuable time with my business ventures. And it's valuable time with everything that I'm trying to do in a given day. Otherwise, I don't have the time. If I were able to sleep 8 hours, I get home about 4:30. I get home about 8:30. Between 8:30 and 9, depending on traffic or depending on if I'm held back at work late because of emergencies or whatever. So 8:30, 9 o'clock, I get home. If I now, mind you, I use the bathroom, I brush my teeth, I take a shower, and then I go to bed. So you're talking easily 9 to 9:30. If I get 8 hours of sleep, now I'm all the way up to 5:30 p.m. That's getting into dinner time with my kids. That's getting into, my kids go to bed at 7. So you're talking about just a routine of getting up, eating dinner with them can go into 6:30, and then spending what minuscule amount of time I have with them besides that before they go to bed. So what I'm saying is when I get up and do this, it saves every single minute that I have to be able to give my energy to something else besides more sleep that won't help. And there's times where I take full advantage. If my wife comes home early for work, I'm like, oh, thank God. And I sleep it out. I sleep out those 8 hours. But I don't do it in a way that I don't go for 10, 12. I don't go for that, because the more sleep you get in the end, the more it's going to be detrimental to you recovering from your loss of sleep. And, none of this information is to drive yourself crazy, because I used to do that a lot. If I couldn't fall asleep on time, I used to start thinking, oh my God, I used to start getting angry. I used to get frustrated, and it would affect my sleep. And then I wouldn't sleep right that night, and then the next night, and then the next night. And then by the end of the week, I am exhausted, and you can do all sorts of different things to be able to relax your mind, to, get into that mode. There's teas you can try. Do not drink alcohol to fall asleep. Alcohol does not give you the quality of sleep you need to feel rested. It can put you to sleep, sure, but mind-bending things, alcohol, marijuana, any other drugs that you might take to fall asleep, they inhibit your body's natural abilities to be able to fully rest, have your mind work, and do what it needs to do. I used to find that taking melatonin and things like that would kind of bleed into my next day without actually helping me fall asleep. Oftentimes depressants are stimulants for somebody with ADHD. And that's the same thing for me with coffee. That's the same thing for me with, when I used to smoke marijuana years and years and years ago, it used to give me energy like nobody's business. Like I just drank 12 espressos. Same thing with drinking. I can stay up and drink all night long because the depressants kind of work backwards for me. But when you do fall asleep, they are scientifically proven to alter how your body responds to sleep, and you will not get the quality of sleep that you need. It takes a long time. It takes dedication. It takes things. It takes meditation. It takes listening to something calming and relaxing. Sometimes it's earplugs and eye blocks, or whatever, or eye coverings or whatever, to be able to fully get a restful sleep. And that's okay. Try to stay away from the chemical stuff. Try to stay away from anything that's unnatural. Take it like a bedtime tea, something nice that's going to relax your body into that mode. Turn the TV off, turn the phone off. Those are very important things to getting a good night quality sleep. It's scientifically proven that the light from your phone, the light from your computer, from your TV, and all that stuff that surrounds us, even these lights that are overhead right here, are scientifically proven to stimulate your brain. And that means your brain is going to be more awake and more aware and not be able to go to sleep. So turn the lights off, grab a book in a nice low light, or, even if you do watch TV, turn it off a good half hour at least before you're going to get ready to go to bed, or before you're going to, start the process of shutting you down and calming down. Throw on some headphones, listen to something nice and calming. I have found that I don't do good with static noise, and I don't do good with no noise. Like if I put those crazy block every single sound in the universe earplugs in, I used to have to do that for when I worked overnights years ago. When I do that, I drive myself crazy. I can hear my own heartbeat. It's nuts for me. And, it's like almost sensory deprivation almost. And it just brings me to an anxious space. So what I do is I put on comfortable headphones that, I play like the sounds of camping in the woods, for example, like campfires or bonfires, and no noise, no talking, no stuff like that. It's just the crackling of the fire, the animal noises, or rain or something like that. It used to be the most beautiful thing for me when I was working overnights years ago. And even now, like when it's raining, because it's so peaceful and calm. Nobody's outside being all crazy. And, you just have that consistent, beautiful noise. So whatever works for you, there's a million different things that you can try to do, but there's a lot that you should stay away from. That also includes putting certain things into your body. If you put certain foods into your body that are just going to lag you out, make you feel tired, make you feel crummy, a lot of times people crave like carbs and sweets when they're tired because your body's looking for energy. But the problem is you're not going to use that energy in the right way because you're tired and because you're eating so much of this that it's making your body now like putting it into a lethargic state. So what you do need is you need proteins. You need, digestive aids, because your body being tired is going to fatigue your body out. So digestive aids help you take on whatever food you do eat throughout the day. There's nothing wrong with a cup of coffee. There's nothing wrong with a cup of tea, whatever you need to do to stimulate your energy level for a little while. I've gone with more herbal things, and I'm trying out a new supplement that I just threw on my Instagram today. I'm not sure when this video is going to go up, but it's called Mud Water, and it has all the main components, all the top mushrooms with cacao and a couple other super nutrients in there. And, I'm interested to see how it works. So far, like I have energy, I feel good. It doesn't feel like I'm not full from, drinking a full huge cup of coffee or whatever. So I'm interested to see how it goes. And I have found some things, especially the proper nootropics. When brain stimulation vitamins. I can list those out, and I plan on doing an episode about those very soon to help not only your brain chemistry, to help the youth of your brain to help fight off things like Alzheimer's and memory issues and such like that, and to just make your brain healthier. These also have a side effect, certain ones, of giving you energy. So, there's certain things that I use in my daily routine, plus a Orgain powder that I use. And again, I will review all this in another episode at some point. But I've used, Orgain's products for a while, and I tried one of their energy supplements that's all organic. It gets their energy from fruit and vegetables, and it's sustainable energy inside your body. It's not just going to pick you up and drop you off. But regardless, it's what works for you. It works. It's whatever works for you, and regardless, however much time you need it to work in. It's establishing a routine that works for your lifestyle. It's establishing a system of control, over how you're responding to your body's exhaustion. Guys, I know this has been a very long episode, going on 22 minutes now, but this is very important. It's something that I've always had issues with, and I've learned to get control of it. I don't have problems falling asleep. When it's bedtime, I fall asleep. Besides getting up once in a while, I've gotten that under control for the most part too, and it's through these methods that work for me. What works for you is going to be completely different, and I'd like to talk to you about it. If you have any issues with this, you can get in touch with me. You can go to my website, visit my links, hit me up on Instagram or any of my socials, whatever you need to do, send me an email, and we'll figure something out for you. My services are all personalized to you. I have nothing preset. When you call me, you fill out some form of information, we talk, and then I come up with something for you based on based on you. And it's important to have that in any regard, whether it's health and fitness or nutrition or mentality or whatever. Sleep is at the basis of everything that keeps you healthy and keeps you going. So let's take care of it. All right. You guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye now.